Так, 14:00, Оскар. So, good afternoon, dear students. Let's wait for others, then we will start. Okay, then let's start. Now, firstly, let's go through the program of the afternoon. So today you will have now meeting with 3 departments. It is Distance Learning Center, then Quality Assurance Department, then Psychological Counseling Center, then you will have a masterclass to the topic time management. So our first speaker is Almaz Jumagilda. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be with you here today. So, as it was yesterday, today we're going to talk about, on my session, we're going to talk about distance learning issues at Suleiman Demirel University. So, dear friends, let me share the content. If everything is on the screen, please, can you say something
Yes,
if you can
everything
see it?
is on the screen and your voice
Great.
is good.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as it was said before, on the first session after the lunch, we're going to talk about distance education at our university. My name is Almaz Jumagilde, and I am the director of the Center for Professional Development and Innovation. At our center, we have 4 divisions, and one of that divisions is distance learning division. So, dear freshmen, today on my presentation, we'll stop on general principles connected to online education. You will see the structure of online courses. To be more precise, it's about flipped learning framework, student workloads, assessment policy, attendance policy, office hours, online proctoring system. We will go through the orientation for the online courses. So as you know, you are from tomorrow, I suppose you're about to start to enroll to the courses at the portal. So you will need to have some kind of orientation through that. And we'll also stop on communication and support channels. That is the channels and ways how you can communicate to your departments, to your faculties, to your instructors and coordinators. So here we go. Starting from the very beginning, I would like to say that at our university, we are very much adapted to distance education. For the purposes of having synchronous and asynchronous classes together, we're using Moodle LMS platform plus Webex platform for live sessions. So what is that? Moodle is a portal platform where you are able to see your courses. You can see your progress through the courses. You can see the materials, books, presentations, resources, everything that teacher assigns, gives to you during the course. On the other hand, you also can upload, download everything which is connected to the courses. You can do your assignments, quizzes, tasks. There is forum discussion activities and many more functions. So basically, that is learning management system platform where all the educational process goes. There is no difference whether your course is online or offline. Anyway, every single teacher at our university uses Moodle platform. Second one, it is especially for online courses. That is Webex live streaming platform. That is where I do sit now. That is a platform that allows me to share my screen. So these two are essential things that we're using at SDU to have online classes. Next is about asynchronous video lectures. So we know that in many cases there are situations when students cannot be present during the online classes due to poor internet connection, due to some troubles. We're all around the Kazakhstan and from abroad, and maybe some weather problems may appear, and you are not always online. That's why our lecturers are preparing video lectures in asynchronous format. What they do, they record their sessions or pre-record their video materials and put them to the Moodle platform. And you can watch that lecture, course, class, anything after the class has ended. That is amazing for students who are having troubles with internet, who are living in villages and in rural areas. So next one is I would like to stop on flipped learning framework, and that is the framework that we are applying to have online classes. What is that? Let us imagine a situation with traditional classes. You all know that students are coming to the class, and at the class, instructor, teacher explains something. Teacher explains the topic, then gives some kind of simple tasks, and you are all successfully doing that simple tasks. But as a homework assignment, teacher gives you some sort of difficult things and you are having trouble with that. You cannot solve them, struggling, coming to the next class unprepared, and some disasters appear. With flipped learning framework, this issue is solved. Why? Because teacher gives you the topic for the class before the class, and you are actually preparing, reading the materials, studying the lecture and the content before the class. And during the class, teacher is not dealing with explaining initial things. Teacher usually answers to your question, gives clarifications, and tries to some kind of solve the homework assignment on class time with you. And the same appears again and again. That is why it is called flipped learning, something like перевернутый класс. Also, at our university, we do have some supplementary MOOCs, massive open online courses. Unfortunately, we're not working with Coursera anymore, but we do have edX platform. In the future, in a few days, I hope you will get your email, your corporate student emails, and using that corporate student account, you can log into the edX platform and have several courses for free at edX. So it is not for marks, it is not for points, that is for your personal development. So these are the general principles that we are using at SDU to keep up with distance learning. Okay, I have mentioned about Moodle platform, and now I think it is great time to demonstrate you that platform so you can really visually understand what it is like to be at Moodle SDU.kz. So with you together, we're going to Moodle SDU.edu.kz. That is a platform where Moodle exists. It leads you to the landing page where you can find several useful information about distance learning, about Moodle, about Webex, about online proctoring, about plagiarism checker Turnitin. We also do have our YouTube channel where all the questions concerning distance learning are solved, and your issues can be resolved as tutorial watches. We're developing booking system. This is for office hours. We'll stop on it a bit later, but the idea is that every single teacher do have own office hours where he contacts with students, answers to his questions or her questions, deals with problematic areas, explains the points, gives feedback, and that is called office hours. So you can book teacher at his office hours, so no one else will come at that time. So we are developing this system, but this is the idea. You are pressing here, finding your teacher, pressing to his name, then the schedule is being opened, and there you can see whether the time for office hours is free or someone else has already booked the teacher. Next, here are some questions about distance learning for students, for teachers. This is not fully developed, but in a few days we will add 30 more questions concerning all the systems, and I hope this will help you to solve your problems. Next is about some sort of information like academic calendar, scheduling, list of disciplines, and etc. and etc. If coming to the bottom to the landing page, you still do have questions, you can press here. This leads you to the online consultant help desk. So I press here, and it leads you to the help desk and online education. Let us say you still have some problems, questions. You can fill in this form, name, email, put the priority, ID, phone, and here the message. Dear Mr. Almas, I do have question concerning this one and this one. Why something is not working, or why I cannot see something, what is wrong, and etc. etc. You are attaching the files as a proof that you really do have that problem, and as a schedule appears to you, as it comes to me, I will open your ticket and try to give you feedback. Here is your phone, so I can call you and ask what's wrong, and we will solve that problem. So let's go back to the Moodle. This is only landing page. Now let us log in. Students and teachers will have their logins and passwords. So here is mine, and I am on dashboard. Being instructor, I already do have my courses. Here it is. I do have my courses 0% completed. For instance, I haven't done anything with my courses yet, but I already have some sort of template for the course. I will fill in it. You will, as a student, you will see some sort of dear student information, short information about the course, about the grading policy, about assignments. You will see course syllabus here. You will be able to ask questions here to me. I will put you here announcements, and the week, I mean, not the week, but the learning process will start. We usually do have assignment activities at Moodle. We have forum discussions at Moodle. We have quizzes, tests, examinations. We do have asynchronous class sessions, lessons, and few more details. I hope your teachers will explain you everything and you will enjoy the process of being at Moodle. So I think we're done with Moodle, and it is time to go to Webex platform. I also would like to demonstrate how Webex works. For that, let me share my meeting window. If I'm not mistaken, you can see the view of Webex, I mean, how I receive Webex. So here you can see myself. Here will be other students' pictures. Here I have, here not just me, but everyone, every single student, teachers, they have same functions. For instance, mute and unmute yourself. We do recommend to students to mute yourself when you are coming to the class, because that might be a lecture of 100 students, and if you forget to mute yourself, then that will somehow distract others, your lecturer, and that will be the problem. So please press this button. You were not able to hear me. That is great. Also, here is the button for starting or stopping the video. We do recommend to be present and to open your video cameras. That is making the feeling of presence. That is really important for you, for instructor. Here is the share button, so we can share screen, some sort of files. We can share the whiteboard. Everything will be explained by teachers. Here we can give some reactions. Let us imagine your teacher is amazing and he explains something really brilliantly and you do really like it. So please use this kind of reactions. Use these kind of reactions. Support your teachers because they are doing amazing job. And no need to open the microphone and laugh at the microphone. You can just use this sort of reactions, and that really works well. Moreover, you can recognize hand gestures, and that will help you to just make like this, and the gesture will go on, or make something like this, and it also works. Something like this, I mean, please do not use it, but still, it also works. So going further, you also do have several more things to know. That is the participants list. All the students and teachers will be here. That is a chat box. Usually our teachers ask questions and ask you to reply in the chat. Please do not ignore the requests. Use the chat box. What else? If you do have questions, no need to interrupt your teacher and just unmute yourself and talk. You can just raise your hand. How it is done? You can go here to the participants list, find yourself, and press the raise hand button. You see? Then you will definitely see that some students are raising their hands, and he will say, for instance, Albek, please, yes, and you will be able to ask your question or ask for clarification. So everything is adapted for your comfortable online education. Here are also some sort of functions. I would like to stop on function that allows me to break all students into small groups. We know that usually it is very difficult to have some kind of group activities when it is online class and there are 50 students sitting there. That's why in Webex we do have function of breakout sessions. Teachers will definitely use it for your classes, but how that works? You will be able, teacher will break you up to 10, let us say, groups. Each group has 5 people, and only that 5 people will be able to see and hear themselves. At that time, you will discuss something, you will explain some concepts to each other, and when the function of breakout sessions will be muted or turned off, you will go back to the main session where all 50 students are sitting, and after that group discussions, you will be able to formulate your thoughts. You can just explain something in details or make a group presentation. Well, this is about Webex. Let us turn back to the presentation. And yeah, we're here. Let me present. So let's go on. After demonstrating Moodle and Webex, I think you have less questions concerning how it looks like, what is it about, how the online classes are going to be. But there are still several more rules that you need to follow. I have already explained the flipped learning framework. Let's go on. This is about student workload. So we know that in some cases, students are struggle because some teachers give you many tasks, other teachers are giving you too few tasks, and you are something like, I'm always doing one course. Now let's solve this question. Let me give you clear answers to what extent teachers may have the right to give you tasks. So at our university, we use ECTS credit system. And one ECTS credit equals to 30 hours. At the portal, you will see one course weighs 3 ECTS, one course weighs 5 ECTS. It means that for the whole semester, teacher is able to give you the workload of 150 hours. We're taking out 45 hours because the course, for instance, let us say 3 hours a week. So we have 15 weeks, then 45 hours goes. 105 hours are left. This means that this is the amount of hours that you need to spend on working on your course, excluding the online classes. Dividing to 15 weeks, approximately student workload per week to one course should be 7 hours. For 7 hours, teacher is allowed to give you tasks, and that is really fine. So there are 4, 5 ECTS, 3 ECTS courses, 1 ECTS courses, and the workload really changes based on ECTS. So please, if you do have mobile phones, do the screenshots, use this table for your workload count. Let's go on to assessment types. At SDU, we do use cumulative and formative assessment approach. So I hope you do know that. There are unlimited amount of quizzes within the Moodle platform. Some of them are graded, others are not. Teacher usually gives you weekly video lectures with reading materials and some corresponding tasks. Sometimes teachers grade that, others are not. Usually teacher for the whole semester gives you from 2 to 6 assessments per semester. and teachers are compulsory to grade them and give the feedback. This is the crucial for your grade formation. We also have midterm examination, so you know that that is usually about to happen on the 7th, 8th weeks, but some teachers do not prefer to do midterms, and that is also fine. But if you will hear midterm, then no, this is some sort of big examination, which really weights a lot of points. Some teachers prefer to do project tasks, project works. It can be group projects or individual ones, but that is also really popular at SDU. And as I said before, this is cumulative grading, where points are assigned to each task, and you are getting points and points and points. And if you are losing them, then you are probably about to get lower marks. Okay, going further, turning to the attendance policy, to enter the final examination, you have to have at least minimum of 70% attendance in scheduled live sessions. It means that if you have 45 classes per semester, then you should be present at 30, 35 of them. That is really important for your grading, for your passing the course, because if you will not get that minimum of 70%, you will be not allowed to the final examination. No matter you are a student, you're a brilliant student, you are getting high results, but your attendance is low, you will get the fail. Please track the attendance at the portal. Virtual office hours, I have already explained, and the format can be really different. It can vary from online Webex meetings, phone calls, chats in Moodle, video calls, group video chats, forum discussions at Moodle. So this is done for your comfortable feedbacks. Yeah, for giving you feedbacks and opportunity to work individually with instructors. Now, concerning online proctoring system, you know that at final examinations we use final examinations called testia. That is really hard, and if it is online, then we should use exams online proctoring. That is the platform, the program that blocks your computer during the time of the exam, so you can see only your screen. We also record your video, your voice, your gestures, your eye movements, replacing the examiner. So we want to be sure that it is you who is passing the exam and you are not cheating. If you will be caught at final, then probably you will have some troubles with final exams and final points grades. And my final slide is about orientation for the online course. So as you have seen, there are syllabus in Moodle already present. There might be some promo videos for the course. Teachers prefer use Gmails and Moodles as communication channels. Some teachers are opening Telegram chats or WhatsApp chats to be with students, to give them some announcements, to communicate with them, even in the outside of working hours. There are still some questions concerning how I can find solutions to several problems, and we suggest the students use this helpdesk.sdu.edu.kz Platform. That is a place where you can leave a request or tickets to issues related to Moodle, Webex, emails, and software issues. If you forget your password, no need to write to help desk. Just try the password.sdu.edu.kz site, and you can reset the password several platforms. So, dear students, that's all. I suppose that's all. If you do have some questions, you may ask them now.
Thank you for your presentation. So, there is a question, can I take an exams offline?
So that is really about faculty decision. But I suppose if everything will go smooth, then they will allow you to take exams offline. But for now, if your course is online, then the final examinations are also to be online.
Okay, thank you. So, other questions, guys? So there is one question, but it seems like she is typing it, or he is. So, Rory, we are waiting for your question. I guess that she taken out like an answer. So because of that, she wants this question. Okay, thank you for your presentation. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, dear freshmen, welcome to SDU. Have a nice academic journey. So we wish you good luck. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, guys, so the next session is with Kumbat Nuranova. It is a speaker from Quality Assurance Department. You're welcome, Kumbat.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Okay. Hopefully you can see. Hello everyone. I'm an expert at the Quality Assurance Department. I spoke yesterday about time management, which I'm gonna do today later. My name is Kumbat. Again, I'm an expert at the Quality Assurance Department here at SDU. Welcome. I'm really happy that you are finally starting your classes, and finally this is the orientation, last day of orientation week. So hopefully everything goes smoothly for you, and you'll be able to get as much as you can from your education here. So let me talk about the Division of Quality Assurance. This is going to be a department soon, which I am very excited about. There's only 3 of us working at the Division of Quality Assurance here. So I'm going to be talking about quickly about how what our department does and the main functions of it and what affects you as students. I'm going to be a little bit sick today, so please don't mind my voice. It's cracking. So what is it, and why am I introducing you to the Division of Quality Assurance? Why is it important? So main functions that we have is to evaluate and promote the quality of education processes at our university. The second one is improving quality of teaching and learning. Obviously, right? Because we're Department of Quality Assurance. Third is monitoring academic activity. So we work closely with faculties, and we have 4 here at SDU. You already know that. And the last one is analyzing and evaluating stakeholders' feedback and assuring quality and standards of education processes. So what we do is very serious, and it might be not very exciting for you as students, but it is exciting for us as a university entity. So let's look at our vision. So we want to ensure a high level of professional skill, and humanistic values of students. So here we're talking about how we want to perceive our students, how we want to perceive our faculty, how we want to perceive the quality of our education. So obviously we want to be the top university in Kazakhstan, which we already are. We want to be top university in Central Asia. We want to be in the world arena of education. So this is our long-term goal, I'd say. So let's look at the quality assurance division and what we're responsible for. I'm sorry, there's a lot of text, but if you follow me, I'm sure it's not going to be too hard. So we're talking about strategic planning for the accreditation processes and requirements. So we really need accreditation. It is one of the quality assurance processes. So it has been implemented not long time ago. So last year we got our accreditation for 5 years, and this year we're going through program accreditation. Next thing we do is we collect and analyze data about academic processes at university. I'm going to talk about that more in a second. We coordinate national and international rankings and ratings. This is one of the reasons why you chose SDU, because we are usually very high on our ratings. It could be Atemiken rating, it could be QS rating, and others. We improve SDU business processes. We do research, we do analytics, we do automation. We make sure that everything is going smoothly within the university. We maintain quality assurance system. We make sure that it meets national and international standards. We coordinate policy making processes. So each university has its own policy. So I'm looking at multiple folders of policies, and those policies are needed for the university to function properly. So this is very important. It might be tedious, but it's very important. So if we talk about ratings and rankings more closely, so we have some national ratings. I'm sure you already know all of this. This is at the McKen rating. We have IAAR rating. This is what we're doing right now. We have AQAA rating. I think we're planning on doing this in the future, but we're not currently doing it right now. So this is not that accurate. So we have international ratings. You already know about QS ratings. Maybe in the future, you're going to apply for master's degree programs or PhD programs. And of course, you're going to come across different QS ratings. Next, we have the Times Higher Education rating and Round University rating. This is a rating from Russia. So let's look at the Atemiken rating, that one. So from constantly, our university is recognized as one of the leading universities in the country. So right now we at the 6th place, and we are always within the top 10 universities. This is a big accomplishment, and I feel like the fact that you're already here is a big accomplishment, a big step for you as an individual, as a student. So again, congratulations for choosing SDU, and we are very happy to have you here. We think you're gonna be affecting or impacting a lot, and we hope that this collaboration will last for a while. So let's look at the university program ratings. As we can see, among, for instance, 45 universities, we're ranked #1 in Kazakh language and literature. We're ranked #3 in foreign language and 2 foreign languages. So we have very, very high positions at these study programs in particular. So if you're studying in one of these, in any of SDU programs, you are very lucky and you should be proud of yourself. So the IAAR, the one that I talked about, or in Russian is NAR, is an independent agency for accreditation and rating. And this agency is basically an international agency that gives you a certificate that validates your ability to teach at universities. So in 2020, we got our certificate. And the university is going to be accredited for 5 more years. So this is very useful for someone who wants to study abroad. So yesterday we talked about international relations department. So if you want to study abroad, or if you want to apply for a master's degree program, you can always do that if your university is certified, which the Suleiman Demirel University is certified, which is a good news. Next exciting part, which I personally do, is institutional research. So since you just started in academic world, you already know what research is, and research is something that you might want to do after you graduate from the bachelor's degree. So the research is sort of, we analyze the processes that happen at the university, and we do qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. So the Quality Assurance Division, us, engages with all types of institutional research at university. The data is collected and analyzed essentially for the improvement of the academic and non-academic experience of our students at university. So what we do, and while doing institutional research, we're trying to improve the quality of our education to make sure that our students are happy. The usage of high-standing research approaches is a priority for us as a department and for us as a university. I'm going to talk about each of the institutional research, and those research affects you directly because you are students. We are collecting data from you. So you are our main source of information. So you are very important to us. So we have a course and teaching evaluation. So basically this research asks you as students about your opinion on your teachers. So for instance, if I was a student, I took a math class, but I enjoy math, but I don't really like my teacher. So I want to express that. I want the university to know that this teacher is not very suitable for me. Maybe this teacher is gives a lot of homework, gives me so much stuff that I don't really want to do, or maybe gives me irrelevant information, which is very rare in the case of SDU, but I don't really like this teacher. So I want to express that. So you can do that through course and teaching evaluation. So data collection starts before the final exams. So you're going to have this in December, and you're going to have this in May. So be ready. For this year, you will have 2 course and teaching evaluation. Please take this opportunity because we always hear what you say, and we always want to know what you think. We have the results. We put the results on our website, but those are aggregated results. So we don't put the results for individual teacher because it's a privacy issue, but we do talk about overall information among university instructors. Okay, so I hope this is clear about this type of research. So I already talked about why course and teaching evaluation is important. Let me just preface this by saying that course and teaching evaluation is not about the teachers, it's more about you. So it's more about students. And we directly want your opinion, and we want to make sure that the faculty members know about any issues, any problems that you might have. So besides you, it also helps your instructors. So the feedback that professors receive helps them identify what techniques work well in a particular course and what needs some improvement. So if I was a teacher and some of my students told me that they don't really like how I talk, or if I talk too fast, maybe I will take that into consideration and try to improve that in my next course. Maybe I should talk slowly. Maybe I should use more simpler. I should use a simpler language, or maybe I should try to ease up the way I talk. So it could be different things. So it all depends on your instructor. Next thing is it helps your fellow SDU students, present and future. So I talked about this already. So let's talk about another one. So I talked about course and teaching evaluation. That was one of the research. The second one is the satisfaction survey. So satisfaction survey is a survey to see if students are satisfied with other aspects of Suleiman Demirel University. So we not only have teachers, we also have different infrastructure that might be evaluated. So it's conducted once a year, which is good. It's done in the spring semester. We do analytics and reports. We talk about it with the higher people in the position. So we talk about it with the main dean, with rector, and other people that actually do matter in the university. We have stakeholders. that affect their opinion affects the functioning of the university. We make changes based on the satisfaction survey, and we have a database of everyone's responses. So this is completely anonymous, but we always make sure that we compare the results with last year. So since it's once a year, it's annual satisfaction survey. So let's look at the main clusters of what we want to ask. So this is going to happen in May. So you might want to prepare yourself for things that you don't like, and you want to express your opinion about those topics. So the main clusters are opportunity to express voice and opinion, learning and study facilities, student service center, dean's office, the medical center that we have. This might be hard for people that study online, but you still can take the survey, and you still will, but maybe about different aspects of studying at university. Obviously, when you study online, you don't have access to none of these above. We also talk about employability. How hard was it for you to find a job or a part-time job, and etc. And an email use. So the general information, the information that goes, that we collect is not your name and last name, right? So it's your faculty, whether you study at the bachelor level, whether you're an undergrad or a grad student, the year of study, the gender, the status. So if you're an international student, you also are important to us since we want to be more internationally oriented. So international students do matter for us as well. So among students, what things that are important to us are professors, employers, and SU graduates. So they also have surveys. They also write their opinion on stuff. Their opinion also matters. So once you graduate from our university, you will become one of the target respondents for one of our surveys. So this is sort of 3 stakeholders that we always take into account when doing our research. So why is it important to fill out surveys? So you might be sitting there and you are like, why do I have to take this survey? It will take my time. I don't need it. It's up to you. So this is completely voluntarily. You can take it. If you don't want to, you don't have to take it, but it would be very important for us if you actually do take it, and if you do participate. No one's going to make you do it. It's completely up to you. So the survey results we are going to implement on our ongoing processes. So let's look at the few examples that we have implemented in the past. So a few students have said that they do not like our study zones, that we don't have enough of a study zones, and we don't have enough areas for gathering. So we don't have chairs, we don't have comfortable sofas, couches to rest, to take the time off from studying, to hang out with their friends. So we took that into account, we presented it, and we have 160 seats. Sorry, there's a mistake here. We have 160 seats, and those are arranged on the 3rd floor. So if you come to campus, you're going to see that we'll have a lot of study zones up on the 3rd floor. This is where our office is. So if you want to come and see us, you can always come. We'll be happy to host or to listen to any of your problems. We have created more co-working zone inside. We have created a brand new scientific library. So when you come here, you're going to see a very, very comfortable, modern library. So those are good news. We have also improved the quality of Wi-Fi. So this is an upcoming ongoing issue about Wi-Fi, how it's not working. So we have to keep in mind that the university is based in a remote location. So it's very hard to provide a quality internet connection, but we're working on that. We're still working, but we have in the past provided 40 wireless hotspots, and we are working on it again for better coverage. The food quality has increased. So those are some minor issues. People were complaining about the food quality. So we have more places that you can get food from, and the quality has increased overall. This is something that we have in mind, and this is something that will be accomplished in, I would say, in a year. It's the sport and cultural student-centered. So a lot of people are complaining that we don't have a sports center, and it's really hard, especially when you're online, to keep your physical shape. So the university is planning on building an actual brand new cultural and sports center, which will have a gym, which will have different activities for students to be in a good physical form. So another part that we work on as a department is rules and regulations. So my colleague does all of this. So rules and regulations are very important. Those are basically the foundation of how university functions. There's plenty of rules and regulations you can find on our website. So it's on the student portal. If you go there, you'll be able to see all the rules and regulations in 3 languages usually. So for instance, you want to read about academic integrity. You want to see what is fair at the university, how the exams are conducted, whether you did an academic fraud or you did not. So you can go to our university portal and find it in the language that you prefer and read it through. The university follows every of these rules and regulations. So again, this is the base, this is the foundation of the university functioning. So this is basically it about our department. The contact information can be found via this email address. It's very easy. So it's QA, so quality assurance at sdu.edu.kz. So you can email us. We always reply within 24 hours. So we'll be happy to answer any of your questions regarding our work. If it's not regarding something we do, we always forward your email to any other department. So we try to make sure that your issue is solved in time. So we are providing you service, and I hope that we as a department can be helpful to you, useful to you in this upcoming academic year. This is our contact number. So this is our office phone. We'll always have someone at the office, so it will be easier to contact us through a phone number. And the last thing is we have a very interesting Instagram page, and our posts are, I think, very informative and entertaining. So you can subscribe to our Instagram and follow us. And we usually post news regarding our work quite often. So yes, hold on. Please, the last thing I wanted to say is to please contribute to the quality of education at SDU. So this is you as people, as the main body of our university. You matter to us, and we really want you to feel welcomed at the university. Thank you for your attention. If you don't have any questions, I'll be happy to hand it over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too for your presentation. That was very useful information for students, I guess. So if you have questions, guys, you may write it on comments, then we'll ask and take an answer. So let's wait like 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute. If they don't have, we will go through the next speaker. Okay, if there is no question, thank you. Goodbye. So the next, our speaker is Jansaya Ahmedsadeh. It is Psychological Counseling Center. So you're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Today I can share my screen. Yeah. I'm a psychologist at SDU. My name is Jansaya, and today I will be presenting you about our center, what we can offer to you, what services, and also we'll talk more about the balance of human being, about EQ, and how we can improve our emotional intelligence. So first, I want to show you how you can find us to read more information and to sign up for consultations. Everything is found on the website. So if you go to our website, then to students, and in the students, you will find Psychological Counseling Center. So we have all information there. What is our aim of our center? The aim of our center is actually improve your mental health, your psychological well-being by providing you a safe space. So I guess you have heard about different parts of intelligence in human. For example, IQ is like rational intelligence, PQ is physical intelligence, AQ is adaptation intelligence, is how we can adapt to different difficulties and problems and struggles in our lives. SQ is spiritual intelligence. Do we know our life aim, our life mission, and our hierarchy of our values in our life? And one of the important aspects in this, I don't know how to say, sphere, is emotional intelligence. And so one of the ways to increase emotional intelligence is also taking care of your mental health. So what is mental health in general? That's the state of well-being. So by state, it means that it's not a state for 1 hour or for 1 day that you feel, but in general, through the weeks, through the months, how you feel yourself. So this is a long-term state of your well-being. And when you are in this mentally health state, you can fulfill your own potential. It means you won't have a disturbing thoughts and ideas that will contradict your potential and make you stop. Usually, anyways, we have some normal life stressors. Yes, it can be missing your bus in the morning or just spilling of water over your clothes. So these are also stressors, but they're in a normal range. But being able to cope with even them is also indicator of your mental health. If you get really angry and burst out of it and you can't calm yourself down, it means there's some signs of taking care of it. Also, when you are health mentally and you're in a state of well-being, you can work productively, you can focus on your studies, on your work. So being able to concentrate on something for some time of period. And also you can contribute to the life of your community. It's obvious that we don't live in isolation, we live in community and society. So interacting with them, helping and asking help and contributing in some way is part of everyone's life. So mental health is part of emotional intelligence, right? So by increasing your emotional intelligence, you also improve your mental health. So what are ways to know is your emotional intelligence is in a good state or not? So first, let's see, what is this? It's ability to understand and use and manage your emotions in positive ways, right? So first you need to understand it, like what I'm feeling now. Am I sad, or I'm shy, or I'm angry, right? So you need to understand. And then you need to use it. Okay, now if I'm tired, then I need to rest, right? You use your emotion in a positive way to help yourself. If you sad, for example, you need to know what I need to do for myself to make myself again in a better place. So if you have good EQ, you can relieve your own stress by being compassionate and calming down yourself. You communicate more easily and effectively with other people, because when you know your own emotions and can use them, you can also empathize with others and predict what they can feel, and you can empathize and be and say what actual people need, and that will connect you with others more quickly and effectively. And also, you can overcome challenges that you have and diffuse conflicts with people. Unfortunately, life is not without them. So, what are ways to increase your EQ and mental health? It can be reading information, books, and watching some videos and movies. Another way can be seeing a psychologist. And in our university, we offer you this opportunity to have individual counseling. We do it in Kazakh, Russian, and English languages. So you can come with any difficulties that you have, be it academic or family relationship difficulties, or some mood disorders, or you have some anxiety and stress. So with all this, we can help to you, and be aware that all the information you share stays confidential and doesn't leave the room. So now we have two psychologists at our center. It's me, Chansaya, and Mr. Sabit. So in the website where I showed you, you can choose a psychologist that you like to see. And if you see, there's a link for appointment. So when you press it, you choose the language of counseling, the time, and the format. We do it in online and offline, so you can choose what is appropriate for you. We need to say that we help you with some life problems and situations, right? We provide you support and help you manage changes. However, we do not prescribe some medications. In case of need, we might suggest you consulting a psychiatrist. And if we know some good psychiatrists, we can also suggest to you. Another opportunity we have is group counseling. So individual is only where you, so client and a psychologist, work together. In group counseling, we have a group of students from different faculties, different years of study. It's also very safe atmosphere and a place where what is said in the group stays in the group. It's not shared. It's very helpful to see that, for example, I have some problems with my classes, right? It's hard for me. And if I see that there is another person also struggling with it, the fact that I know I'm not alone already relieves some stress from your shoulders. So it's about being in community and improving your communication skills, also how to ask, how to give. It's a very good way of consultation, which I will be leading on the campus. The only difference from individual that it can be held only offline, so at the campus, due to the fact that there are a lot of people and it's hard to manage everyone's Wi-Fi connection and be sure that it works. That's why it's held on the campus. So if you have a chance to come, you're welcome, of course. The link will be published soon as the time will be arranged. It will be on the website. So another thing that we'll be doing throughout the year, is trainings and workshops. It will be in different topics: emotional intelligence, communication skills, some maybe anti-stress, and another. We have very good plans, and they will be announced through mail or Instagram page. So now we can go deeper a bit to emotional intelligence and do some practice. So the unit blocks of emotional intelligence is emotions, right? So what is emotion? Let me tell you first. It's our reaction to some situation. So imagine something happened and we react to it. And to identical situation, every people can react differently, and that's totally okay. So that's why I can't. That's why we're very different, and our temperaments are different. So no matter what emotion you feel, they are not bad or good. They're all helpful, and they're all needed. If it exists, and if our nature, right, has these emotions, it means it has some function in our life. But they can be pleasant or distressing. What I mean by pleasant, it means pleasant emotions we want to feel more, longer and more frequent. So for example, happiness, we want to increase and like long the feeling of happiness. We want to share with it, right? Because we feel ourselves good in it. Or for example, when we're interested in something, we want to try Googling it, right? Studying what to know. So it activates us and we want it more. What about distressing? They give us very important information that something is maybe harming us if we feel fear, right? So we feel there's some caution, I need to take care of myself. These emotions are very important and useful, but they're distressing. It means we don't feel well ourselves, and we want to shorten the period and the length of these emotions. We want to get rid of it somehow. But if you know how to use them to understand even distressing emotions, they will actually lead you and help in your life. So now some exercises to see if you can identify your emotions and how good are you in emotional intelligence. So you will be writing in a comment on YouTube, right? I will be reading here. All of you, or most of you, have graduated school this year, right? In May or in June. So remember this time when you were graduating school, and what have you felt about it? How was it for you? Were you anxious about graduating, or you were sad, or you were happy to graduate and start a new life? So if you can share your feelings about graduating school in the YouTube comments, I will be very glad. Yeah. If not, you can just point to yourself and write your own and reflect. So it will be also helpful for you. So if there will be some answers, I'll be reading, but now let's move on and see. Mostly in Kazakhstan system, and we have final exam. It's called UBT or ENT, but in different countries it can be different. However, there is some final exams, right? So remember that time when you had final exam. What did you feel about that at that time? Meanwhile, I'm reading here an answer from YouTube. Someone says, Rice Pie, I was totally happy to make my first step to the new life. Great. Yeah, that's what you felt. And now you can reflect what you felt about final exam, right? It can be stressful for someone, it can be easy for someone. And it's totally okay to feel differently to them in the same situation. While you're reflecting on the final exam emotion, moving and coming to the university. So you have a new chapter. Congratulations that you're starting your studies in Süleyman Demirel University. So what about this? What are you feeling and how are you about coming? University is totally different level after high school. So how are you about starting university life? Maybe also you're anxious how it will go, about your profession, about your friends, or actually you're curious and you're excited about it, right? Or maybe you will be far from your family, so you're a bit sad about. It can be all different emotions and can be mixed. You are very welcome and to feel all your emotions that you have. I hope you reflected it to yourself and it was a first step or one of the steps to paying attention to emotional intelligence. What I can say now is welcome to our university and wishing you have a pleasant, fruitful year. If you're having some down days, if you're having challenges in your academic or social life, personal life, don't hesitate to contact us. On the website you find our emails. Please contact us. We will try to help you. And very important notice is that all our consultations and services are free of charge. So it's your opportunity. Thank you. Right, we can wait for
Thank you for your presentation. Let's wait for the questions. Guys, if you had a question, you may ask, then we will answer. So I guess that, and I believe that the given information by you will be useful and grateful for other students, and they will come to your consultation.
Yeah,
to take more information and to work with themselves. So, guys, if you have questions, let's ask. Then we'll go to the last speaker today of the orientation days. Okay, let's wait 1 minute more, then we may. Okay, no questions, yeah? Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you soon. So the last speech in the last session for your orientation days, it is a masterclass about time management, which is needed for every student in a student life or in a whole life, we can say. So, Onranova, you are welcome. We are waiting for your speech. Kumbat, are you here? Okay, guess she will come in a few minutes. Let's wait then. Oh, Dimon, I don't think that she's sleeping.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we hear you.
So, okay. Hi everyone again. So I'm gonna be talking about time management. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Sorry. Okay. So let's talk about time management. I talked about it yesterday, but it was in Russian. So let's just review what we've talked about and what time management is. I think it's a valuable skill to have, especially for first-year students. Especially for students overall, I would say. While preparing for this presentation, I have also found something new for me that I wanted to use in the future. So I think this is a very important skill to have, and a very important skill to obtain. So the first thing you need for time management, for knowing how to regulate your time, to delegate your time, is motivation. So if you don't have motivation, obviously it's going to be very hard for you to make sure, or like to persuade yourself to do something that you don't want to do. So for me, as an individual, it's really hard for me to motivate myself to do something that I don't like. So for instance, doing a research in, let's say, doing a research in international relations. So this is something, a topic that I don't really enjoy, that I don't really like, that I find very boring, just for myself. So obviously I'm not going to give my best at this research. Another topic that I really like, for instance, is quantitative research. So if I do quantitative research, I feel fulfillment. I feel like I'm capable of doing many things. That's why I always do things that I like. But this rule only applies for a certain number of people. So there are people that can do something that they don't like because they see the importance of it in the future. So it all depends on a person, on an individual, on yourself. So you have to reflect. This is a popular word, right? Reflection. So you have to reflect on yourself, to think about what works for you as a person and what doesn't work for you. So you try not to push yourself over the limit if something does not work for you. Try not to compare yourself to others. So again, as an example, I am a very competitive person. So if I see someone my age, with similar background, if I see them succeed, I take it personal. I think that there's something wrong with me, that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing. So it all depends on you. So I recognize that competitiveness is my flaw. So I try to fix it every day. So this all stems from motivation. So you have to be motivated, especially when you're at school, when you're at university, when you're at a competitive school like SUNY University. You're gonna see that there's a lot of people that are better than you, that are more successful than you, that are more a little bit more educated than you maybe. So please do not take it personal. Just remember that everyone has their own pace. So if you're not accomplishing certain things right now, it doesn't mean that you're less of a person than someone else. It just means that you have your own pace, that you're moving in the direction that you deserve. So motivation, in the research that I've read, is connected with three things. The first one is balance. So balance is very, I think, easy and straightforward thing to understand. So balancing academic life, your personal life, maybe your professional life. So it can be three things, it can be two things. It all depends on you. But I would say if you're a first-year student, probably you only have your personal life and academic life. So make sure you find balance. So you cannot only focus on one thing. You have to find a middle. You have to find the middle and be balanced as a human being. Next one is well-being. So how happy you are with the state of your mind. Well-being cannot only be in the financial matter, it can be related to other things. Next one, the last one is success. So I would say that the fact that you're already studying at Suleiman University means that you are a successful individual. You are going to accomplish a lot of things in your life, so you already are successful. Now you have to establish what you see as a success. There are a lot of people. Let me give you an example. So I have a classmate, and she already has a family, children. So in her mind, this is success, which I completely agree with. You have a family, you have an established relationship, you own a house. This can be a success for many people. For other people, success is whenever you get promoted at work. For someone, success is writing an article that is published in a famous newspaper. So success can be defined in different ways, and it's up to you to establish what success is. Sometimes this is pushed upon by society, by your parents, by your relatives, by your friends, but try to make sure that you stay focused on what you want and what your desires are. So this is an advice over here. Think of time management techniques as tools to help you to do what you value most. So again, you have to value things that you find important. So make sure you reflect on that. Make sure you understand what is happening. Next thing I want to talk about is commitment. So I'm going to briefly talk about different methods of managing your time and different aspects that are important whenever you manage your time. This one is commitment. So whenever you're committed to something, you are giving your all to that particular thing. So you're giving your passion, your energy, your time, all of your resources whenever you're committed. So in order to be committed to something, you have to like it. So if you look at the advice over here, it says that if you can't commit to devoting time to a task, don't put it in your schedule. So of course, whenever you just start your academic journey, you're going to have a schedule, you can have a calendar, you can have a bullet journal. So whatever you write what you want, you sometimes put unrealistic stuff. So I, for instance, whenever I started whenever I started my master's degree, I would put 2 hours for this lesson, 2 hours for this class, 3 hours for this. So I would put like every minute of what I have to do. And at the end of the day, I would notice that I wouldn't do many of it because I didn't find it as important. So for instance, I had an English class, and I would say that I'm pretty good at English grammar, so I didn't have to learn as much because I was okay. Like my grammar is okay. I don't have to learn as much as other students did, so that's why I didn't put much time to it. So you have to think realistically. Don't think about it in an ideal manner. Just say, okay, I'm a human. I only have 8 hours a day, so I'm just gonna do what I can and not feel emotionally drained afterwards. So being emotionally drained is another topic, and you don't want that to happen to you, especially at such a young age as yours. So all of you are, I don't know, 17, 18. It's very young. You're just starting your life, so I don't think that emotional distress is going to be useful anytime in the future. Next thing I want to talk about is pursue fun with a vengeance. So whenever you pursue your fun, you have to think about that. You have to think about fun in a more serious way. You have to say, I like certain things and I want my life to be around those things. So this is a very interesting method because usually you say, I have to work and then I will have fun. This method suggests you that you have to have fun first, then you will put your work around it. So yesterday I gave you an example. Let me give you another example. So one of my friends really enjoys skiing. So she really likes going up to the mountains and spending time up at the nature. She likes skiing, snowboarding, and all that winter sport related, right? So she wants that to be her #1 priority. So to be physically fit, to have a certain hobby in her life. So she wants to put that around, so she wants to put all her work around the time that she's having fun. So this is one of the methods. Maybe it will work for you, maybe it will not. So you have to think about it. I'll be very happy if those methods will work for at least one of you in the future, in the nearest future, since your classes are starting already next week or this week. Next, I want to talk about time versus task focus. So usually whenever we talk about time management, we say that we have to do a to-do list, right? So this is what we usually imply. We say we have to write a list of things that I want to do, I want to accomplish today. But this method suggests that it's easier, it's more efficient if you put the time first. So instead of doing the to-do list, you write the time list. So in the time list, you say, I'm going to dedicate 2 hours of my life or 2 hours of my day for my classes. I'm going to dedicate 1.5 hours to do physical exercise. And you say, I'm going to dedicate half an hour for watching an episode of my favorite TV show. So this could be different. So what you're doing is you're allocating time to what you want to do. This is an interesting method as well. This time you are calculating time instead of what to do. It can be very efficient to some of you. Maybe you should try it once you have more time. Let's say you want to study math and English tomorrow. So instead of saying, I'll study math and I'll study English, that doesn't work, right? Because you might not study, sorry for the noise. You might say, I'm going to study English tomorrow, I'm going to study math. So that might not work for you because you're going to do more of English instead of more of math. So it all depends. It can be all over the place. You cannot, maybe you don't have time to do one of the things, so it can be very not precise as you want it to be. So instead of that, you do time. So you say, I'm going to allocate 1 hour of my day tomorrow to do math. So you actually sit there and you do math. So that works for me. Maybe it will work for you as well. Sorry. Let's go to the next slide. This is one thing at a time. So this is sort of how to say, a method of doing things slowly. So taking it slow, going one step at a time, walking, sort of not rushing. So whenever you rush, you make decisions that will not work for you in the future. So this is a very interesting statement. It says that current research shows that multitasking is a myth. So if you remember 2 years ago, the multitasking was very, let's say in fashion. Everyone was talking about how it's super cool to do multitasking, to do multiple things at a time, to be everywhere and doing everything as much as you can. But what have we noticed is that it is very toxic. So this mentality is kind of toxic. It talks about how as an individual you have to be everywhere, you have to do a lot of stuff. And it says, in actuality, we're switching back and forth between tasks. With each switch, we pay a cognitive cost and a time cost. So cognitive cost is giving your energy. It takes time to get mentally back into the task, thus making us less efficient. So if you're, for instance, let's say you have 2 deadlines tomorrow. One is for biology class, one is for geography class. So what you're doing is you're switching between 2 classes again and again. You can't really focus on one task. You can't really focus on the other. So what you're giving is you're giving only half of your energy and dedication towards one thing. And then you're giving the same thing to another thing. Instead, you could have allocated your time more efficiently throughout the week, but now you're rushing, and I totally understand what it feels like to postpone, to procrastinate. So this is not very efficient in terms of academic success. So if you want to accomplish a certain GPA, if you want to have a high GPA, if you see yourself as a great professional, it's better for you to learn time management now instead of pushing it backwards or forward. Pushing it forward in the future, and you might never do it again. So I was told to give you more examples. So let me give you an example. So I know how students study in Kazakhstan, and I know how our students in the United States. So I've noticed the big difference between the two mentalities, the two cultures, is that students in Kazakhstan, a lot of times they don't know what they want. So they might not know what they want until they graduate. So 4 years from now, you might still want to be like, I don't really want to know what I want to do with my diploma. So I am a certified economist, but I don't really want to work in the economy sector. I don't want to work in the finance sector. Maybe I see myself as an engineer, that can happen. So, but otherwise in the United States, when I was there, I noticed that students there in the United States, they already know what they want. They are dedicated, they have a goal in mind. So they do whatever they can to accomplish it. So they don't spend their time on things that are not necessary, which is also a very good habit to have. And maybe if whenever you have time now, just take my advice and try to think what you actually want, you as an individual, instead of your parents, instead of your friends, instead of the society that dictates what to do. Another thing I want to talk about is block out time. So make sure that your time is blocked. So whenever we talk about blocks, it's like street, right? So you have a concrete shape of time that you want to allocate to things. So I already talked about this. It says devote on a regular basis chunks of time to a specific class. So let's say you're taking, what classes can be academic English this semester. So make sure if you see yourself being weak in the class, so you see your peers being more advanced, their language skills are better than yours, you might think that, okay, this class needs more of my time. So that's why you allocate more time to it. Make it part of your schedule, your routine. Estimate how many hours per week you want to devote to a class. So in my case, if I took English, I would dedicate 1 hour a week for this class because I don't really need to learn English again because I already speak that language. Maybe I took French. So let's say I took French classes. Of course, I want to dedicate more time to a French class than English class because I already speak English, right? So I want to dedicate, let's say, 5 hours a week of my time for this French class because I'm not really good at it and I need to speak it in 2 years from now, let's say. Just an example. Next, this is very similar to one thing at a time. This is the first things first. So you have to think about what things you prioritize more. I'll talk about it again. If you can do so, schedule the things that are most important to you first thing in the day. So if you wake up, let's say 9 a.m. in the morning, you have to do things that are most important to you. So for me, I have a public speaking talk on Monday. So I'm going to schedule a time that works for me next week. So I'll put the things that are related to my public talk on Monday. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So you have to put the things that are most valued, the things that are most important to you first, and then maybe after, I don't know, a couple hours, you'll get interrupted. So you want to make sure that you did get something done first. This is I didn't really translate. Yesterday I showed, let's just skip over it and then we'll come back later. This thing is routine. So whenever you translate it into Russian, routine is something like really boring, right? So you say, oh, my life is a routine, which means my life is really repetitive. My life is going again and again and again and it's boring. But in this case, routine means something that is in your habit. So my routine is I wake up every day at 8 a.m. I go to work, I come back, and I take online classes. So that could be my routine. Someone else's routine can be they wake up at 6 a.m., go to the gym, go to the swimming pool, come back, go to work, make dinner, hang out with their kids, hang out with their spouse, and go to bed. So every routine is different. You as a student, please don't look at what your friends do. Usually just listen to what your intuition says. This one of the good advice, it says it takes 30 days to create a habit. So make sure if you want something to be your habit, make sure you allocate 30 days to it, and then maybe it will become your habit. So for instance, let's say my habit is to drink a cup of coffee every morning. So this is my habit. If I don't drink a cup of coffee every morning, I feel sad, I feel a little bit unaccomplished, so it could be different. So let's just make sure that those habits are healthy. So let's say my habit is to eat 1 apple a day. That's a good healthy habit to have, so it can be different for everyone. One of the last things I want to talk about is flexibility. So make sure you're flexible. So what flexibility means is that the ability to be to bend. Okay, so make sure that you are capable of adapting to different environments. So this is a very useful skill to have in the professional world. So whenever you come to a new company, obviously everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have their own culture, and you need to fit in. So you can't go and tell your new coworkers, your new colleagues, and be like, oh, okay, so I have my own sets of rules. You have to follow them. No one's gonna do that. You have to adapt. You have to adjust to the rules that you have in your company. So this is one of the examples. Another example is if you go abroad. So let's say you go to France. So in France, there's obviously a different mentality. So you can't really just go there and act like you did in Kazakhstan. So you have to adjust. You have to be able to be friendlier, more welcoming to different cultures. So this applies in the real world all the time. And especially applies to the time management because sometimes things don't go according to your plan. This happens to me all the time. So if I schedule today that I will have 2 hours doing my project work, it didn't happen. So instead I only spent 1 hour doing it because I was told to work on different projects. So this day is not going according to my plan, which is okay. It happens. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing that I should be upset about. So again, make sure you're flexible and you're not stubborn. You are adjustable. Next thing is responding versus reacting. Again, this is about emotional attachment. So instead of, if something does not go according to your plan, instead of reacting to it, so putting your emotions to it, try to respond to it. Responding means you have paused, analyzed the situation, and you're responding to it accordingly. So for instance, I have applied to 2 universities. I didn't get in to one of the universities that I really wanted to, and I did get into another one. So at first I was upset about it that I didn't get in. I really didn't want to go to my school anymore. So instead, I adjusted and I took this opportunity, not for granted, but as a blessing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this university instead, and I'm gonna have as much fun as I can. So this is responding instead of reacting. One of the last things I want to talk about is organizing your environment. So whenever you work on something, you have to make sure that the environment that you're working in is clean, is tidy, is suiting you well. So I put the phone in here and I crossed it out. So make sure you have as less distractions as you can. So if you have your phone near you constantly and is beeping, it's going to distract you, and you don't want that to happen. Whenever you're focusing on something, you should not waste your energy on something that is not as useful. Next is social life. So the last thing I want to talk about, my presentation is almost over. So social life, since you're starting your school, you're going to have a group of friends. Fortunately, you're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to make friends with a lot of your peers. You're going to meet your new instructors, your teachers. Those can be friends for life. So this is very important to take that into account whenever you find your study group or study buddy. So based on my experience in grad school, I had one friend that I liked to work on from the same class as I was. So I had this very complicated, challenging econometrics class. And I didn't really do well in the beginning, so I found someone who could help me and who was my friend as well. So taking their advice, taking their suggestions, and actually, I wouldn't say using them, but taking their help is very useful in the long term, in the future. Next thing is to get a study and writing partner. So in the United States, there's a culture of working together in groups. So let's say I have 5 friends and they all have different classes. Maybe they're from different faculties. So I want all of them to gather together in a little room, and I want us to study together. So what we do is each of us are doing their own work, and I'm doing mine, but we're creating this sort of learning and studying atmosphere. And since your friends are doing their work, you don't really want to talk, you want to do your own work. So it's creating the environment that makes you more productive. And the last one is ask your friends or your relatives or your parents not to call you at a specific time. So you can say, I'm going to dedicate 3 hours of my life right now studying. Can you please not text me? Can you please not call me? Because I have to be focused on. Whenever you constantly look at your phone to check your Instagram feed, your WhatsApp messages, you're always wasting your energy on things that you don't want to waste it on. So whenever you want to do your work, please make sure that you're focused on it. And focus is very important whenever you talk about academic sphere. So that's it about the time management presentation. Yesterday I talked about a few websites. So one of them is Google Calendar. You already know how to use it. I would say use it more often because it's a very useful and straightforward tool, and I use it all the time, and I think it would be useful for you since you already have a student Gmail here at SDU. So try to use it with your friends maybe and write a to-do list or accomplishment track. You can do that. And another is an app called Forest. So if you go to Forest on Apple Store. If you go there, you can find this app, and then whenever you use it, you grow a tree. So it says 20 minutes. So you start a timer, and in 20 minutes, the tree grows for you. And that means that you have been doing your work for 20 minutes straight. Then you can take 5-minute break and then do it again. So studying at Suleiman Demirel University is a very challenging experience. You will learn a lot in the future 4 years, and I wish you the best. Good luck on everything. I hope this presentation was helpful to some of you, and I'm always happy to help. You can email me anytime, so thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation too, Kumbat. There's no questions or comments, so your presentation was useful, and so I think that they will use it in their student life. Okay, guys, I want to thank you for your participation on our orientation days, and we believe that the given information was very useful for you. So, see you. Goodbye. And if you got questions, you may write to departments or to our Instagram SDU Live. Also, at 18 o'clock, we will wait you on our Instagram Live, where we play some games. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.